Baccano is one of my favorite anime, and I would love to see more of it, though I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But they are immortal, so there is lots of hope. When I first watched this anime, I was struck by the plot, characterization, storytelling, and incredibly handsome men. Almost every one of the men this series centers around is gorgeous. I highly recommend it, and I suggest watching it first and then coming here to perv over the dudes with me. So to dive right into it, let's begin with Firo, the cutest little gangster you ever did see. And I don't mean that in a patronizing way at all. He just looks so damn cute, and not at all like the mafioso he is. In fact, he's one of the best fighters in the series, and we see him effortlessly take down several opponents. However, he doesn't have the temper that we see in some of the other characters. He's calm, sweet, and at times a little wide-eyed. He kind of looks like a rabbit or a squirrel or something like that, but in a sexy way. The first time we see him, he gives money to a beggar, who then tries to rob him. The old man pulls out a knife and charges our kind-eyed mafioso. Firo grabs the blade with his hand and 2 of his fingers get sliced off in the process. And then it's like the wound rewinds and his fingers and blood zing back to his hand and reattach. He then punches the guy in the face, knocking out a few of his teeth. This is a great way to introduce this character. He's a sweetheart, as we see when he gives the guy money, and then he punches him pretty solidly in the face, displaying the side of him that probably got him into the mafia in the first place. And we also get to see immediately that there's something strange and supernatural going on. He's got a mentor-mentee relationship with Mizer, who is an alchemist who found the secret to immortality? Mizer is a pretty handsome guy himself, though I'm not the biggest fan of that character who always kind of has his eyes closed. It always feels kind of sinister, except in Mizer's case, he kind of comes across as like a kindly old man, except he's not an old man, except he is an old man because he's immortal and became immortal in the 1700s. So, yeah. When Firo bumps into Ines, his sweetheart side comes out again. A button comes off of her jacket, and he picks it up and chases after her to give it back. Of course, this was probably just an excuse to talk to the pretty girl again, but it's sweet as far as excuses go. Once again, we see what a good fighter he is when he saves this creepy old man from Dallas, who I would say is the closest thing we have to a villain in the show. Unless you count Lad, which I don't? Man, I really get all messed up and confused when a guy is hot. Speaking of hot guys, the confirmation that there's something suspicious going on with these mafia guys comes when Firo and Luck meet at a bookstore, which then gets attacked and they just brush off being shot 100 times like it's no big deal. For me, Luck is the most gorgeous guy in Baccano. I mean, just look at him, and we love a guy who likes to read. Luck is definitely the hottest. Or maybe Claire. No, Luck. But then Claire has such great hair. But Luck has the cheekbones of a Greek god. But then Claire, you know what? Claire is a high-key a psychopath, so he can have second place. Luck Gandor is the handsome, charming, smart one of his 3 brothers, and like most of the men in this show, also a murderer and a criminal. The worst thing he does is probably sealing Dallas into a drum and dropping it into a river. He does this knowing that Dallas won't die and will keep drowning and drowning on repeat forever, which is pretty intense and brutal and sinister. But Dallas attacked them first, so fair game, right? I wish we had more Luck in the series, but because he wasn't on the train, he's absent from a good chunk of the episodes. He's kind of the perfect mafia guy. the kind you'd want in the lead of a movie with a romance angle, or the love interest of a mafia-themed romance novel, which are very popular, and I understand why. Sleek, handsome, and dangerous, with a dedication and a loyalty to family and friends that cannot be broken. Luck is shown to be intelligent and charming, and the best thing a man can be is charming. It's enough to make you forget about the whole violent criminal murderer thing. I mean, look at him. Does he look like a killer? His brothers certainly do, but he's got that face that makes you want to trust him and fall head over heels. You get the same vibe from Firo and also from Mizer, who, let us not forget, has bargained with an actual demon. Good looks really be deceiving, guys. And speaking of demons, let's move on to Lad Russo, the most barbaric guy on the show. But then, Claire was pretty brutal as well. But Lad did shoot Ceslo twice. But Claire dragged him under the train. However, Lad thought he was killing the boy, and Claire knew he was immortal, so is he really that bad? He did save the best couple in the world, Isaac and Miria, when they were trying to save Ceslo, so maybe not all bad? Lad is well built, tall, and has the bluest of blue eyes and brown hair. He's got a strong jaw and absolutely adores talking a lot and slaughtering a lot. We mostly see him in a white suit that becomes more and more covered in blood. His brand new wife is accompanying him on the train, and she's pretty quiet and subdued. Seems like he really wants to kill her at some point. Lad has the craziest of crazy eyes and a matching psychotic smile to boot. The look that comes across his face when he's killing someone is a perverse mix of joy, hatred, and maybe even a little curiosity. He kills people like it's a hobby. He enjoys it as a treat he regularly indulges in. Like, I might binge the biggest packet of Doritos I can find in 5 minutes, but Lad will strangle a man to death with his bare hands. And we'll both feel the same kind of happy it happened but sad it's over emotion when it's done. When Lad hears gunshots in the dining cart, he's so excited he skips down the corridor. The prospect of violence and a sticky situation delights him, and he can't help but smile like a maniac as he murders and then very thoroughly kills a man with his fists. Lad throws himself into any potentially violent situation, and if there isn't any potential for violence, he creates it. There must be some crossed wires or faulty connections in my brain, because he's extremely hot to me the whole time he's raging. From his psychotic expression, insane laughter, and manic way of speaking, I enjoy all of it. Of course, this would be completely different if it wasn't fiction and wasn't anime. But it is, so I'm going all in. But as the series progresses, I started to like him a little less, because he wanted to kill this beautiful woman, who I liked right away for no real reason, and then liked even more once Claire decided they were meant to be. And also because he was on the opposite side of the equation to Jacuzzi, who was kinda the unexpected hero of the whole story. And I really grew to like him and his whole crew. At first I didn't think much of Jacuzzi, and my mind and heart were already so full of Luck, Lad, Firo, and Isaac. Man, this show really is stacked. Enigmatic couple Isaac and Miria tell Jacuzzi the story of the Rail Tracer, a killer of supernatural proportions that murders people on trains. He is thoroughly freaked out, and we get the impression that he's a tad gullible and a little bit of a baby. But of course, this show is about gangsters, and he too is a violent criminal, though more of the way that Luck is than the way that Lad is. And he's got a hero's heart. I think he doesn't really want to hurt anyone, he just wants to rob them. He really steps up with all the craziness going on in the train, and I really come to root for him and want him to succeed. And of course, as he became the hero, he became more and more attractive in my eyes. Like Luck and Lad, he has great hair. Though the best hair goes to Claire. Unlike them, he has sweet eyes and a kind face, more like Firo. He is very brave, and even when he's terrified, he still takes action, and that's what being brave is all about. The more he did, the more I liked him. And when he took charge and finally kissed his girl, I thought that was very badass and cool of him, though some of that was lost when it's revealed that that was their first kiss ever. He is also very right to fear the rail tracer, aka Claire Stanfield, who is mostly known by the name Vino. He is an infamous hitman renowned for the brutality of his murders. He is also the adoptive brother of Luck and the Gandor brothers. He first appears as a happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic young conductor who really loves trains, but is revealed to be the infamous rail tracer, the entity that brutalizes any criminals who wish to hijack the train. Guys, I've changed my mind. Claire is the most handsome guy in the series. Sorry, Luck. Second place isn't so bad. This heroic, noble, brutal, psychotic man believes he is the center of the world and cannot be killed. Known as the best assassin in the world, he takes great pride in his skills, which he worked very hard to attain. He doesn't kill innocents, and we see him go out of his way to save Isaac and Miria, the heart and soul of the story. He's got blood red hair with just a bit falling over his forehead, and when he is killing and embodying the rail tracer, crazy eyes to rival those of Lad. I mean, one of the first things we see him do once he's shed the conductor persona is drag a man under the train till his arm is shredded off. But because he isn't just some senseless killer like Lad, his actions somehow don't seem as bad. He also doesn't harm Jacuzzi, who was working to protect the guests and the train. He spends most of the time on the train covered in blood, which really does make him feel otherworldly. And it really says something about Shane that she returns his affections and wants to meet him in Manhattan despite all of the blood. I suppose it says something about me too, because I would have done the exact same thing. When the train finally arrives at the station, I love the way he immediately tells the Gandors that he's found the woman he's going to marry, and that finding her is his main focus as soon as his job, which is killing people, is done. Later, when he comes across Rachel and Ceslo, he comes across as just an ordinary, exceedingly handsome, friendly young man, and the two talk to him normally, until he reveals who he is and Ceslo runs away screaming, as is appropriate. Rachel, a woman after my own heart, goes with him to lunch, and we have the scenes that allow us to truly appreciate how gorgeous Claire is. I'm a romantic fool, so I love how he's instantly dedicated to Shane and struggling over the best way to reveal his intentions. You kind of forget this lovesick Adonis is actually a prolific murderer with a tendency towards extreme brutality. But then, everyone has their flaws. I'm not a bad person, so he wouldn't kill me. In fact, he would go out of his way to protect me, especially if I was on a train. My heart was very satisfied, if not a little jealous, when Claire steps in to protect Shane when she's mistaken for someone else and kidnapped. Oh, the way he looks at her. Don't you just love to see that kind of devotion? I need someone to come here and look at me like that. And, taking her feelings into account, he says they can take things slow and be friends first before getting married. Now, before we end this video, I've got to talk about Isaac and Miria, my favorite couple in animedom. Without these two, many of the characters in this anime would be dead, including Luck and Firo. They're kind of the thread that holds everybody together. They're so wonderful and delightful, and you can tell how much they adore each other. They obviously love stealing and have a lot of fun doing it. I love their tendency to dress up for their crimes, like wearing a baseball uniform to knock out some gangsters, and donning a priest and nun outfit to sneak into the speakeasy, and many others. Love the drama and the dedication to having a good time. They have so much fun together and they're a joy to watch. I kinda envy them and wish I was with someone I fit together with so perfectly. They're made for each other and so happy together that they spread their happiness to everyone around them. Team Isaac and Miria all the way. Also, Isaac is very handsome and Isaac can get it, except Isaac must stay with Miria forever, so no, Isaac can't get it. When I got the idea for this video, I thought it was going to be a short one, but so much for that. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm Kayla and see you next time. Bye!